school thing, European upbringing. My parents immigrated from Holland, and one of the things I was always taught to be seen but not heard, and it seemed like, I don't know that that's just the way things were, but it seemed like there was a lot of put downs, like you just not. I always felt like I was not good enough. No matter what I did, I wasn't going to measure up. That would be what we consider a core belief then.
It would be considered a core belief, yes, but we would like to put an explanation as to what sometimes happen, most times happen, and it will give you an idea as to why that core belief is developed. So, there are those that you call your parents or adults around you, and they, at some point, decided that they were not going to pay attention to who they really are, meaning that source energy, that powerful being that they are. And as they deem themselves unworthy, they then emanate that particular energy around certain circumstances. And we would like you to remember that when you are little, when you are babies, when you are still at that time in your being where you are still connected to source, you understand your goodness. Those who do not remember their goodness try to get you to come to their level. And at first you do not. As babies, if you notice, no matter what, they will choose the thing that makes them happy, content. That is usually their default. They do not innately put their focus on things that do not make them happy. But the ones who are around them are still mucking around in that area of being unsatisfied, feeling unworthy. Eventually, that energy overrides the one of the younger ones as they get older. So now you are observing more acutely the behaviors of the adults around you, which you are now programmed to do. So you are programmed to look at the adults, the way they interact with others and situations. And as you are choosing, for you do choose even at that tender age, which reality you are wanting to lay the groundwork for as you go about choosing. If you decide to choose one of not paying attention to their discontent, to their feeling of less and lack, what happens is that adult forcefully, a lot of times, reminds the younger ones that they need to pay attention to that. Understood?
Understood.
So even though you innately remember that things are supposed to be going well for you, life is supposed to be joyful, the ones around you who are not experiencing that tends to forcefully pull you to their level. And eventually, most of you at that age will turn your attention there. There are a few of you who will say to yourself, I remember who I am. I remember that I am good. I remember that life is supposed to be good. And I remember that I'm a powerful being and I have the choice to choose where my focus goes. There are some of you that do that, but the majority of you do not. And you put your attention to the lower or the lesser vibration of the adults. And as you focus there longer, you continue to develop these, what you call beliefs. And as those beliefs are developed, you utilize those beliefs in situations that are similar that you have observed, and then you call it core beliefs because it is the one that has been nurtured the longest, the one that you've used as your default the longest. So you name it your core beliefs, and that is how they are developed. Another asking.
So my question is, we have these core beliefs. So let's say that I grew up in a nice, I didn't, but let's say I grew up in a nice, loving, caring, nurturing home. But then somewhere along the way, I line up with a tragedy of some sort. Let's say something bad happens to me. I'm in a car accident, and all of a sudden now I'm afraid to get into a car. Is that a change in my core belief then?
You, before addressing that change in the core belief, we would like to put this to you. You understood when you were coming into this space, this reality, that there would be something that we would like to call and label contrast, opposites. And that contrast or opposites is the contrast or the opposite or the difference to things like happiness, joy, things going well. You knew that there were going to be circumstances that would be different to those. You also knew that from those different circumstances, those different realities playing out in front of you, that you have choices. And you also knew that when you implement those choices, your life will start to play out in a reality that goes either this way or that way. So you knew that coming in. You knew that innately. That was one of your playbooks, if you will, coming in. So now you are growing up in a family that is where everything seems to be going well. Somewhere in there, you've decided, I want to experience the other side of it. What is the opposite of this what I'm experiencing now? Because you are here to play with life. You are here to experiment and experience everything on every different facet that you choose. So in that choosing of wanting to experience something different, you run into this experience of having an accident. But instead of understanding that, okay, so you've seen this side, this difference, I understand the energies, I understand the emotions around it, now I will choose something differently going forward. You decide to stay in the tragic side of it. And now that you've decided to stay in the tragic side of it, you start to develop beliefs based on the reality coming back to you because of your energetic output and the law of attraction giving back to you exactly what you're putting out in terms of your energy and your thoughts and your emotion. You've decided to start building beliefs around those, and consciously or unconsciously forgetting that you can choose differently. You can choose from that point now to experience something different. Understood?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so now you are developing a belief around something that can be easily changed, but depending on how far gone your thoughts are, it is not that easy to change, as you all very well know.
Mm-hmm.
Another asking?